Morgan with the Rotoscopers, and today for Frozen Friday I am bringing you a makeup tutorial, Elsa's makeup. So this is the makeup she wears when she becomes the Snow Queen. As you can see, I already have my Elsa braid ready, so if you want to learn how to do this, go make sure to check out our other video where we do Elsa's hair tutorial. We will be doing other videos in the future of her coronation hair and Anna's hair, lots of good stuff. This is actually a pretty easy look to do. You just have to have the right colors and then the right brushes. You actually can do a lot of this just with your fingers. You don't really need brushes. So let's get started. Alright, first thing you need to start off is no makeup. Make sure to remove all makeup, dirt and grime, make sure your face is washed. I just put moisturizer on to help moisturize my face for all the makeup that I'm going to be putting on it. Now the next step is to prime the face. Now you want to use a face primer because this will allow your makeup to last all day long. It's not going to rub off on anything, it's not going to just fade. And what I use is Smashbox's primer, face primer. It's just a clear silicone type substance and you just need a pea-size amount. Put it on your finger and then just rub it into your face. Next step is foundation. Now Elsa has very pale ivory skin and we want to recreate that, but if it's not your skin tone, don't go buying, ivory pale white makeup because it's not going to look good. Just buy and use what works for you because that is going to be what works best. The foundation that I am using is Makeup Forever HD foundation. I love this because it doesn't make me break out. I get a lot for the bottle. It gives me great coverage but not too heavy, and I really just like the formula. Alright, next step is eyes. Just like we primed our face, we are going to prime our eyelids and our eyes so that way that color, that really vibrant purples, those stay in place all day long. I'm using Urban Decay's eyeshadow primer potion. This is the big size, but you can get it in whatever size you want. There's a little smaller one. And you're just going to need a teeny pea-size amount, if that. I mean, that's all I'm using. And basically all you do is you just rub that all over the top of your eyelid. So just top of your eyelid and then all the way up to your eyebrow. A little bit goes a very, very, very long way. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the eyeshadow, which is the main event. Now you'll notice in Elsa's look that she doesn't just have one flat color across the top of her eyelid. She actually has a light shimmery purple right in the middle, and that's just to create a little bit of dimension for this look, so we're going to do the same thing. If you don't really like that little shimmery, you can just use the next color that we're going to talk about. But this color is the light purple shimmery. It's by MAC called Mancatcher, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm just going to pack it in the middle of my eye. So basically just do a stripe. You don't need to go anywhere above here, your crease. Just right here in the middle. Basically the width of this brush is all that you need. And just pack it on there so you can see it. This is sort of a shimmery color, so it's hard to see because it's so light, but trust me, it's there and it's working. Beautiful. Now just do the other eye. If you went a little bit too high right here, we're going to be filling that in later. Now the next step is to add this darker purple color on both sides. This is called Hepcat by MAC and I think it's a pretty good match, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to use another flat eyeshadow brush and you're just going to put makeup on the inside and on the outside. So just put it on your inner eyelid and then on your outer eyelid. Don't go too far over on this front part. We're going to put like a shimmery color right there. So once you hit your crease, just stop. You can kind of make a line right there to really define it. It's okay if you go over into the shimmery part. Just make sure that it's really well defined. Now add on to the other side, just pack it down, kind of like that. You can do big long strokes or just small little ones to kind of pack it. And then go on to the other eye. So we are going to continue on with this color, but we are going to use an angle brush and we are going to use this to go into the crease. We're going to start here and move all the way up just to really define that crease. So it's going to look a little darker even though it's the exact same color. So just start here, go a little further out than where you just barely put color and just go back and forth, even go on top towards the middle. Don't go too much down here. That's just a bit too much of this dark color for the inner crease. But just go back and forth on top. And the thing with Elsa is she's a cartoon character, and with these looks, I mean, you have to go really, really dark and put a lot to make it really dramatic so it matches what hers looks like. If you just barely put a little bit of purple, it's really not going to create the dramatic look that hers is. So I say the more, the better. All right, before we move on and blend all these colors together so they look so beautiful, we are going to add a brow highlight right here. As you look in Elsa's picture, she doesn't have a shimmery highlight, it's just a very matte highlight. It kind of matches her skin color. So I'm going to do the same. I'm using a color called Vanilla. It's just sort of a creamy white color. It's very matte. Just using a little brush that comes with this palette. And you're just going to brush it on right there. So that way it creates even more of a contrast between the color and your eyebrow. So just start basically everywhere where your eyebrow is, right underneath it. Just put that brow highlight color. Just brush it on. Nothing too fancy here. All right, next is blending. So we need to blend all these colors together so that they look good. I am using a fluffy rounded brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start blending these two lines where this lighter color meets the darker, just so that those lines aren't so like harsh. And then I'm going to go in and blend out this crease. So just start right here. Just kind of blend those darker colors into the middle. Not too much you have to do. And then take this and just do big long sweeps along your brow. Or not along your brow, along your crease. Okay? This just helps to soften the edges a bit, and it makes it look really, really good. See right here, this part that isn't so beautiful, it's kind of like wonky. Yeah, you can just use this brush right here to help soften that edge. And just blend until the color just floats away. All right, in blending, you may have lost a little bit of the darkness in the crease, so I'm just gonna go back one more time and take my angled brush and just go into the crease. I'm just gonna create a little bit of dark just to add more dimension, and do that on the other side. All right, with the eyeshadow, I'm going to add one more step. This isn't really in Elsa's look, but I think it makes it look really nice in person. I'm going to take a really shimmery light white purple. This is called Sea Myth. It's a frosty color. And then I'm just going to take a rounded fluffy brush. I'm just going to dab it in the color. And I'm just going to put this on this inner crease. This is going to add a little bit more contrast. It's going to soften up the middle of the eye. I don't know what the heck that is. And just kind of blend it into that corner and do it on the other side. So Elsa has really strong dark brows, so we need to fill in our brows. You can either use a brow pencil or a brow powder. I'm actually using an eyeshadow. It's by MAC, it's called Omega, and it's sort of a tan taupe color, and it just works for my eyebrows. So I'm taking a pencil brush and I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows. A little bit goes a long way. It's just enough to fill in kind of the white spots of your eyebrow. And so just fill those in. So we're not quite done with the eyes yet. We're not gonna go out without any mascara or eyeliner, are we? All right, next we are going to do Elsa's eyeliner. Her eyeliner is actually pretty easy. It's just black. So very standard. Most girls have black eyeliner somewhere in their makeup bag. And her eyes, so basically she just has a little thin black line right here in her waterline. So that's what we're gonna do, and maybe if you want, you can do a little line on top. So you can either use an eyeliner pencil or a gel eyeliner. I'm gonna be using a gel eyeliner with an eye pencil. So what I'm gonna do, I find that using brushes in my waterline really irritates my eyes. So I'm taking this pencil and I'm just dipping it in the Fluidline. And then I just use the pencil and trace my waterline like so. Don't go all the way to the edge in this corner. Elsa's does not do that, so stop about 3/4 in. Another thing that I do is I line the top of my waterline. This just helps to add a little bit more dimension because she really doesn't have that much top eyeliner. Ooh, my eyes are watering. And repeat on the other side. Kind of made me cry. now that you've done your waterline, this next step is optional. You can line a little bit of the outer edge of your eye. She really doesn't have a line on top, but she has really thick eyelashes. So if you don't have thick eyelashes or you don't want to use fake lashes, that might be a way to give that dimension. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm taking my black Fluidline with an angled eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to dip it in and apply it. So an easy thing to do is just to pull a little on the edge of your eye, and then it kind of allows you to have a straight line. Stop kind of in the halfway point. We don't want this to be too dramatic. She doesn't have winged eyeliner. We just want to add a little bit to add dimension. All right, next step is mascara. I'm using L'Oreal Voluminous. Use whatever mascara you want, it's not a big deal, and I'm pretty sure most of you know how to use mascara, so I'm going to put this on and I'll meet you at the next step. So just a note, Elsa doesn't have any purples underneath. You can do purples if you want, but that's not a part of this look. Basically, she just has the eyeliner and the mascara underneath. There's no purple, there's no anything like that. Now that being said, if you don't like how thin this line looks, you can thicken it up with some black eyeshadow. You just take it with a pencil brush and just sort of fluff it into the eyelash line, and that will create a thicker look. We're almost done with the eyes, but we need to add some lashes. So my lashes aren't that thick, but hers are super thick. So we want to create that va-va-voom volumization with some falsies. So what I'm using is Ardell Accent Lashes number 305. These are actually little halfy lashes that just do the outer edge of your eye, and they give you that little lift at the end. I find that regular lashes are really hard to put on, and they're messy, and then they fall off, or the inner corner comes undone. They're kind of a pain, so this is an easy way to get an extra volume without having to go through all the hassle. Now, if you really do want an over-the-top look, then get some really thick fake lashes, the whole shebang. I think those are going to look really good, but I'm just going to use these. There you go. Since Elsa's eyeliner doesn't go all the way to the inside, I'm just going to put this white eyeliner pencil on the inner corner of my eye just to help blend that thick black line. You may have had a little bit of mascara fall down, so just take a fluffy brush and just brush those away. Elsa has pink blush, so she just has it right here on this little C right underneath your cheekbones. If you suck in your cheeks, that's basically where you want to put it. So I'm taking this brush. The blush I'm using is by MAC. It's called Gentle. I think it's a special edition, but any light pink blush is going to work. And you just take your blush brush and then just make a little C. You can make this as thick and dramatic or as light as you want. Just make a little C mark, and then you can blend it in. If maybe it's a little bit dramatic for you, take that brush that you used your foundation with, and you can actually just blend, just like we blended the eyeshadow, we're blending a little bit of the foundation color into that cheek, so that way the colors look very blended and natural. All right, we are almost done. This is an optional step that you can do. Elsa has a little bit of freckles, so does Anna, but Anna has a lot more. So to me, you can add these freckles if you want a really authentic look. I sort of have a little bit of freckles, so I'm fine with it, but if you really want that look, I'm gonna show you how. So you can either use a brown eyeliner pencil, or you can use like gel eyeliner like what I did. I really don't like the color and the texture of this, so I'm just gonna be dipping it into this brown Fluidline. It's called Dip Down, and I'm just gonna slightly dip into it, and then I'm going to create some freckles. So barely, all you need to do is barely tap. You don't wanna, go in and make a big circle. You just need to tap. I think the main bit on your nose is where they're gonna stand out the most. So if maybe they're a little bit too dark for you, or you just wanna blend them in, take your foundation brush again and just sort of dapple on top of them. This will put a little bit of foundation to cover them up and make them look a bit more natural. How do you like my freckles? Aren't they so cute? All right, we are almost done. The last part is Elsa's lips. Now, Elsa actually has kind of a darker color on her lips. It's more of like a berry pink. Personally, if I had eyeshadow on this dark, I would not be putting a similar dark color on my lips. But she's a cartoon character, so she can get away with some of these crazier things. If you want this as an everyday look, I would put a light pink, maybe like a shimmery color on your lips. Not a dark red, but if you're going as Elsa for Halloween or a costume, or if you just really want to duplicate the look, then let's continue. So I am using a MAC lipstick color called Fantasia. It's sort of a light pink berry color. Just put it on your lips as normal. It's a dark color, but it's not too dark, so it's the perfect color for Elsa. Alright guys, we are done. This is Elsa's makeup tutorial. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments below how this look worked for you, whether you liked it, what you modified to change it. Be sure to subscribe for more Frozen Friday. We are going to be doing Elsa's coronation hair in the future, Anna's makeup, Anna's braid, Anna's coronation hair. Lots of really, really fun stuff. So make sure to subscribe. And until next time, I'm Morgan and this is Elsa's Makeup.